Welcome, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the StabCast. I'm Mindy.
And I'm Dan. And hooty hoo, we're here.
Hooty hoo! Apparently, Daniel has changed his name to Dizzle. Yeah. I have to talk to him about that one. But yes, so we're here for another spooky Sunday, and I have some amazing news for y'all. So, y'all know how much I love the Candyman. Y'all know how much I love Tony Todd.
Yes.
You know this. I honestly, if I was several years older, even though I'm white, I would probably try and have an affair with him. Just saying. To me, he's the Morgan Freeman of horror. I love that man. I love him so much. And Kevin was trying to be like, oh, well, he's not that great. He's not the Morgan Freeman of horror. I left.
You left?
I went and sat outside and smoked a cigarette. I was like, I'm not doing this with you son of a bitch. But anyways, the reason I'm talking about Tony Todd is because they have finally, after 8 different rewrites, they have finally decided on a premise and a write for Final Destination 6, which will be coming in October of 2025.
Yes.
Here's the thing. There's only one person casted. And that is Tony Todd, the coroner. Really? Because here's what they're going to go with. They're going to go with him talking about what happened with other people.
That's true.
They're gonna go about his way of being a coroner and how it affected his life and basically his journeys and everything. So I'm sure other people will get casted along the way.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, he's literally the only one on the cast list.
That's pretty dope. So they're doing it again.
Yep, they're doing it again. They've been promising us the 6th one for 10 years now?
Yeah.
So it's about damn time.
Yes.
And I'm very happy that they have Mr. Tony Todd at the helm. So why don't you go ahead and tell them what we're doing today, brah?
Tonight's a big one. We're doing our top 10 underrated horror movies of all time.
Technically, it's top 20 because he is 10 and I have 10.
Yes. So we're going to roll through this. We're going to give a little bit on each movie and just say why we ranked it. This is in mine and Mindy's opinion pretty much. Something that we liked that maybe the people didn't like. Maybe it didn't make that much money or maybe it made a lot of money, but the critics hated it for whatever reason.
It didn't make a lot of money at the time and now it's a cult following or something like that. Or it also could just be a movie that we really like.
For some reason, it's a movie that we enjoyed that we don't think it's the love it deserves. So that's basically the criteria.
Oh, I gotta change one of my movies. Shit. Okay.
I'll go first.
You go first.
My number 10 is it's an interesting one. To me, this is the worst one on my list. That's why I have it at 10. Slender Man.
Oh, with Joey King?
I think it. I don't know.
That one that we saw?
There's only one Slender Man movie. Did it have Joey King?
No, there's two. There's two. There's the Lifetime movie, and then there's Slender Man.
The one that was in theaters.
I think it had Joey King in it. Pretty sure. It was 2014. It was when she was.
Yeah, it did have Joey King. Yeah. Joey
was. We watched it. We reviewed it.
I've seen it 3 times.
I don't understand how you have, honestly.
It's a good movie. I think,
and that's what this is too, guys. Even there's gonna be movies that even me and him are like, "Are you serious? What the fuck?"
Yeah, we disagree.
But we gotta just let it go. Opinions are opinions. So Daniel, tell us why you love it.
They're like assholes, and mine usually is shitty. But I Listen, I think the movie's a victim from coming out 4 years after the Slender Man craze. Because I remember that being a thing my sophomore year in high school, on the football team. We were talking about it in school, the Slender Man and stuff. And then this came out when I moved out here and I'm working at Taco Bell and shit, 2018, and this is out here. This is out. And I'm like, what the fuck already? That took them a while to capitalize on that.
they definitely missed their mark.
I think they missed the boat, but I don't think it's a bad movie. I think Joey King, even though I forgot she was in the movie, I think she did an amazing job. I thought the movie was fantastic for what it was.
She carried the movie when we did the review.
I think it's a fun little Slender Man ghost movie, and it doesn't try to be anything it's not. It could have been like rated R and like really gruesome, but I think it's an all right kernel mustard seed of like a idea. I think it's pretty good. It's the worst movie on my list. That's why it's number 10, but it's something I thought had a lot of potential and is kind of underrated. I can go back and watch this and not be upset about it.
Okay. I'll give it to you.
Well, I appreciate that.
No hate.
Get in the frame more.
We are not allowed to have hate here. No hate. And I've been trying to be in the frame. There we go. There you go. Hi, guys. Oh, look, I got this new necklace. This is Call Me with a Knife. And I got these awesome earrings.
There you go.
They're amazing.
It looks amazing.
It's really pretty. I did it for you guys.
She did it for you guys.
All right.
You should have followed the TikTok.
Yeah. All right. So my second one, my first one is, my 10th one is Slaughterhouse.
Oh, Jesus.
It is. Shut up. It is. It's on Hulu, and honestly, this is why it's getting some attention from me. If you can get my fiance to stop what he's doing and put all of his attention and time into watching it, then it's a good. It's not a good movie, but it's something.
It's entertaining
decent.
at least.
It's entertaining at least. Like, I mean, it was honestly, like, I'll give you a little bit of plot. It's a very angry. I don't know if it's angry or if it's just a psycho, but there's basically a sloth that's psychotic, and there's this girl in the sorority who wants to become the top of her sorority.
Yes.
So she goes to find an exotic animal, and she ends up finding the sloth.
Yeah.
And at that point, the person that brought it to America, he had already died because the sloth already killed him.
Yeah.
But it's just something about a bunch of sorority girls laying out with foil and then seeing a sloth next to them.
Yeah.
There's just something about that.
I mean, like you said, with the opinions and stuff, I would never watch that fucking piece of shit, but
and I get that. It's something that got my attention.
Well, if it's underrated to you, you know your shit, so.
Well, yeah, but it's underrated because no one's talked about it.
And I think a movie called Slaughterhouse, there's usually a good reason why some people haven't talked about it. But
and you know what? No judgment.
No judgment. All right, my number 9 is something that it did do pretty well with money and critics did like it, but I think a lot of people kind of deterred from this. If you're not a Cannibal fan, if you don't like those, because I'm one of those guys, you might skip this movie, Wrong Turn. Because
the original, or are we talking about like the third or fourth or fifth ones when they really started to get nitty?
No, the first one. The
first one is a classic.
It's a classic.
It's not even that underrated, honestly, in my opinion. Other people's opinion, yeah, it might be underrated. But honestly, I think the remake was a piece of shit. And you can't compare to Elijah Dishku's acting.
No, but
she was amazing in that movie.
I do think it is underrated in the state. It does not get put up there unless you're with us or in horror circles.
Well, yeah,
for casual movie, like
underrated.
Scream gets brought up, Halloween gets brought up,
yeah.
Fucking Friday. This doesn't get brought up. Wrong Turn doesn't really get talked about, and I think a lot of it is because the fucking hillbillies eat people. And that kind of, deters people. Just like the Cannibal Holocaust and other great movies.
Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, The Hills Have Eyes. Like a lot of those movies people don't really want to bring up because, by the way, to do a slight deviation after Thanksgiving and everything, have you heard about poor Eli Roth and this last fucking bomb? That Borderlands movie fucking shit the bed.
I don't, and I don't even want to watch it. I don't even want to look at it.
I'm not watching it.
I don't.
I'm not seeing it streaming.
I don't want it.
All-Star Cast.
If it starts streaming, I might watch it. Maybe, but I heard it was a dumpster fire.
Well, they fucked up because that's a video game that's known for its gore and humor and like kind of being crude, and they made it PG-13.
Yeah, I heard you really dropped.
Now they have an all-star cast like Bobby Lee cameos. You got Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black, Kevin Hart. Like that should be really good. And Eli Roth coming after Thanksgiving and everything.
Oh, I'm surprised.
You think it would be?
I'm surprised Jamie Lee Curtis let a bomb like that.
It's one of the biggest in history. Like they made $17 million so far, and it's been out for 2 weeks.
I don't know. Jamie Lee Curtis was once in a movie in the 80s that only made $18. That was it.
Oh Jesus! Well, that might be worse. But they spent $120 million on this, so $17 million is pretty shitty.
Yeah, their budget was like $2 million.
but even not compared to that, that's pretty bad. 17 on 100. I know, but you and me know numbers.
Has been in some flops, unfortunately.
I feel, but this is also but that's also Freaky Friday, Halloween Prom. She's also been a box office fucking titan, so she could.
I'm down.
Well, she can afford a couple flops, right?
Yeah.
But no, I do. I feel bad for her and everybody involved because I love everyone involved. I feel bad. That movie's becoming like one of the bigger bombs in Hollywood history. It's crazy. Wrong Turn's my number 9. What's your number 9, Mindy?
My number 9 is All the Boys Love Mandy Lee.
It's a good one.
And I don't know if Daniel. Oh, you said it's a good one.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it twice.
Remember, I've seen it more than twice. I'm gonna be completely honest with everybody and say that I was quite obsessed with this movie for a long time.
Yeah.
But also, I was obsessed with it, and Daniel probably like completely like not only understands this but also remembers it. This movie was supposed to come out when I was 15.
Yeah.
And then it got held. And it got held for a really long time. But Daniel would say it and be like, and like he would watch it with me and be like, this trailer is amazing. Why haven't they come out like they got? So I remember the first day. I don't know if you do, but I remember the first day it finally came out. I was like, Daniel, they did. And you like came running in and you're like, what did they do? I'm like, they made All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. And you're like, Mindy, I wasn't that invested. You were. I'm like, I don't care. You're watching it. And honestly, for as good as a movie as it was, even though it made me wait 3 years, as good as a movie as it was, I mean, I didn't get a lot of traction, unfortunately.
No, it didn't do amazing.
I mean, it didn't get a big box office thing. It ended up being a straight to DVD kind of thing. And also, I think the whole holding it for as many years as they did really screwed them over.
Yeah. 100%.
Because it got people wanting and salivating at something that was going to be gruesome and awesome, and you saw something completely different. And I'm not going to ruin it for you all because there's an amazing twist, but then they just drop this twist on you and stuff, and it's like, what the hell? What's going on? So, and like all of your personality, like everybody, as far as they're concerned, like you completely change all of your like opinions about everybody and their characters. Yeah. So I would say it's a good movie. Would I say it's underrated? Absolutely. It's never talked about ever.
Yeah, it's not talked about too much.
I mean, it has Amber Heard in it and everyone hates her, but
Mrs. Poopy.
Still,
Mrs. Poop the bed. She really shit the bed on that one, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. But still, she was a good lead. And it was nice to see the twist in her change.
I agree.
So.
100%. All right, next up, my number 7, I have number 7 underrated horror movies. We reviewed this a few months ago. The Prowler.
Oh, that's such an underrated movie.
It's so good to the fact where I hadn't even heard of it until I looked up something to watch weeks ago. months ago, we watched it, and it's like, oh my god, this
I
is
think
so
we only
fucking
did
good.
that a few weeks ago, didn't we?
It might have been a few weeks to
Yeah.
like 3 weeks to a month ago, but it was so good.
Such a good movie.
And it's one of those like My Bloody Valentine. It really gets overshadowed because it came out at the same time, and the killer's kind of dressed up, even though that's more coal miner as opposed to like military brat. But fucking the Prowler, just a straight up 80s slasher. It's dark, it's kind of gritty, and it's a good backdrop. And the whole military thing with the big like rake, it's just.
And it never tries to be anything that it's not.
No.
And it works from its environment. I wish so many people liked this movie and actually watched this movie and whatnot. Because if they just sat down and watched it, they'd like it.
Yeah.
Anyone would like it. This could get anybody in the right kind of horror mood. Like, put this on in the fall, like during Halloween time, boom, you got it.
Yeah, 100%. All right. What do you got? Number 7.
Number
Your turn.
7. I keep blocking myself out of my damn phone. So hold on, guys. Number 7.
Drum roll.
Cheerleading camp.
Okay, that's a good one.
Which
I knew you were gonna hit me
actually
with
got Daniel into this, and he actually really thought that I was going to end up like putting this at the end of the list, like my favorite one, but it's not necessarily my favorite one.
Yeah.
It's just, I feel like it deserves a place because with Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp, it kind of got pushed under the radar.
Yes.
Like really badly. No one really watched it or talks about it or anything. And I think it was a good movie.
Yeah.
I really did. I liked the whole sticking to everyone's stereotypes, like the chubby one, the pretty one. I liked that they did that.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked for them. And I just, that little fat boy with the chocolate bar, he's just, I can't. I can't, because I've seen him in so many other horror movies, and that's like what he normally is the fat kid.
Yeah.
So it's
God
just,
bless him.
It's just so funny. God bless you, homie. But yeah, I would definitely have to say cheerleading camp would definitely be my 6. Yeah, 7. Sorry guys, I can't count. I would definitely say 7 though, because it, like I said, it wasn't immaculate to the point where I'm angry that people don't know about it and don't like it. But I do think it's worth a watch.
It is underrated.
It is underrated.
I'm with you. All right, now we're on to number 6. And my number 6, and by the way, if you're watching this and you want to comment an underrated horror movie of your own, or if you think a placement is too high, let us know and we'll talk about it. But my number 6 underrated horror movie of all time is She Came from the Woods. This is another one that we love and enjoy. It's underrated for the sole fact that it's pretty low budget and it never had like a wide theater release. It went to select theaters and stuff, and it did like a festival run and everything. But this was never a big high budget blockbuster movie that was supposed to make $100 million.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's overrated. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's a fun camp slasher, modern day camp slasher with practical
I want to be so mad at him, but he's exactly right. And they did do practical effects for almost everything. I think they did CG like maybe once or twice.
Yes, maybe.
And you can't really even tell anyway unless you're looking and nitpicking for it. So I do very much so appreciate that.
Yeah.
From the filmmakers. And also, I've said it before, I'll say it again. What a well-lit movie.
Yeah, it was very well lit.
Very
well shot.
Exactly.
Cinematography.
If you can have me in the middle of the woods and I can still see what's going on, you're a good movie.
Yes. And this spot, I was torn between this and that In a Violent Nature that we love. But I feel like even though that is low budget as well, and it was kind of limited theater release, I think that is getting a lot of love.
Yes,
and people, and it is already on like people's favorite horror movie of the year and like most under. So like I think that is kind of getting its notice, whereas this one kind of like does not get talked about like at all. And as far as camp slashers, if you're a Craven one and you're a Friday fan that hasn't seen a Friday movie since 2009, this is a good one to check out and like. Especially if you like witches too.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you 110%.
All right, man. Who's your number 6?
My number 6 is actually Prom Night. And it's not the one with Brittany Snow. It is the one with Jamie Lee Curtis. Because I feel like that movie did not get the reviews and the release that it deserved.
We already fucked up the count, by the way. We're on 7.
Oh, okay.
10, 9, 8, 7. Yeah, you're on 7.
Okay.
You're good.
All right, we're good. But yeah, so I mean, in my opinion and everyone else's opinion, they're probably like, oh God, Prom Night yet? No, okay. But as far as I'm concerned, because of her hit with Halloween and Terror Train and all of that, I really do think Prom Night was kind of stuck under the radar.
It does get it. Even though you'd say, oh, well, it got the remake and stuff, but the remake's almost more
shit.
And it was shit, but that's almost more talked about than the OG. Even though the OG's way better.
A slasher.
Yeah.
The
and
OG
Brittany Snow.
Really a slasher.
Brittany Snow, big budget. It was kind of a bigger movie. But this one it's the OG and it is a classic. I agree. It is underrated. That's a good pick. Now my real number 6. 10, 9, 8, 7. All right. Real number 6. I had to go for, this is the StabCast. I had to go for a Scream movie. This is a Scream movie that is a sequel, but it is better than every single remake, every single Radio Silence, both of them. Scream 4.
Oh!
I think Scream 4 gets unnecessarily shit on. I think it kind of gets put in with 3 as like it was going on for too far and it needed rejuvenation, and I don't think that's fair.
You're not the first person to tell this to me. This isn't the first time I've had this debate.
Good.
And the one thing that I'll say is that I find it weird that in 15 years, she went from not having any family to having an aunt.
I get it. But and I also understand there are little nitpicks because like that role, it was supposed to be a really big budget actress. I forgot what actress, but the sister was supposed to be somebody big and ended up with the woman they chose, and she barely had any of a role because in reality, Neve Campbell, like Sidney Prescott's mom's sister, probably is a hell of a story you could tell and have a lot of fun with. They didn't do a lot with her. They ended up killing her. But I did like the whole coming back to Woodsboro. The callbacks and that and the family and all, that worked for me more than naming the kid from 13 Reasons Why Wes and like the little shit like that they did in the Radio Silence movies. I thought this was a perfect one. I liked Richie, the little fucking dude, and then Macaulay Culkin's brother.
You can definitely tell that Wes Craven himself had his hands in that one.
100%. I thought it was super good. It's way better than 3. To me, my official rankings go 2-1, which is a very controversial for me. A lot of people shit on me for that, but it goes 2-1 for 5, 6, 3.
And mine goes 2-1, 5, 4, 3, 6.
Jesus, it wasn't that bad. Holy shit. Damn, you're shitting on it worse than I have. But yeah, I think Scream 4 gets very underrated with it. Like they almost killed Courtney Cox in that one too. I just feel like that's one that kind of gets lost in the shuffle, and it's actually a good movie. What's your real number 6?
My real number 6 is actually Book of Shadows, Blair Witch Project 2. It had nothing to do with the Blair Witch. Absolutely not. And it had Carter from Final Destination. And it was such a mind trip that's the only reason why it's made it on this list. It's because it's such a mind-bending piece. You don't even know what's going on about 2/3 of the time. because what they show you that's going on, they take it back right after.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I knew you're looking at me like, are you serious? So, like, I know, but to me, it's underrated.
Yeah, we were talking about
our. Been so much better.
Yeah, and we were talking about our opinions and different. This is the biggest piece of shit. I fucking hate Blair Witch too. I've tried to sit through it a couple times, and not for me, but to each their own. To each their own.
All right, go ahead.
All right, my number 5 now. Now, to everyone noticing the shirt I'm wearing, and also to people that might see some of my other stuff on the UTizzy or even on Facebook, know that I am a wrestling fan as well as a horror fan. And when you try to make an eerie wrestling character into a horror movie villain, I think it can have differing results and it can be really good. Some people are like, why didn't The Undertaker ever do a horror movie? They did try it with Kane, and that's it. My number 5, I have See No Evil. It's a good movie. He's gouging motherfuckers' eyes out. It's a fun slasher, dark, like these prisoner inmate like convict teens are fucking refurbishing this old building, and Kane resides in it, and he's fucking people up for his mom. Like, it just works. I think it
does work. It does work. I will completely agree with you on that. It's just, I knew you were gonna pick that.
That's my number 5. See No Evil. The second one I never even watched. I'm sure it's not great. A lot of people think See No Evil isn't great, but I enjoy it, and that's one I can always put on a Saturday night in October and enjoy, or even the summertime. All right, number 5, Mindy. What do you got?
My number 5. My number 5 was Book of Shadows. Okay, so Pet Cemetery 2.
Okay.
Is what we'll go with. I liked this film even more so than the first one, honestly, in my humble opinion. I feel like this was very original.
It's a great movie.
I feel adding a dog to it did a really good job, and the whole abusive husband and thing.
Yes.
I feel like it added a gravitas of an emotion and drama that the first one could have definitely used.
Yes.
Just unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people hate me for that, but that's just my opinion.
All right. I agree with that one a lot more than Blair Witch 2. All right, my number 4. I'm sure my our favorite aunt, who's vacationing up in the Netherlands right now, I'm sure she's going to agree with this pick. I'm going with The Menu at number 4. I think it's a great, if you're Sharon, she's up in the Netherlands right now, but she sends her best, and I heard it's great country this time of year. The Menu.
Are you gonna go visit the slapping tree?
She might already smack the shit out of it, pretending it's us. But I think that The Menu, if you're a foodie and you like creepy stuff, this is a good movie. It's a completely original, different thing that if you like horror but you want something.
Very acquired taste.
Yeah, it is. If you like Chopped and you like horror movies, you got to watch this. It's this it makes fun of foodies in the perfect way. It's got great acting performances from Voldemort and Mad Max, the bald chick. So I think Anya Taylor-Joy's at her best here. You got the kid who's Lex Luthor now in the new Superman movie. You got a really good cast. You got a good movie, and I think The Menu is highly underrated for a post-pandemic movie. Didn't make a lot of money, but it was I think the critics liked it, but it didn't make much because it came out at a crazy time. But I think go back and watch it. Whatever it's on, whatever streaming, watch the movie. It's a fun movie.
I think it was okay. I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
I think it's good.
What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Carrie 2: The Rage.
You're big on the sequels today, huh?
And the reason why I'm bringing up Carrie 2: The Rage is because it should have gotten so much more love than what it did. I think it's probably because they took a movie from the 70s and gave it a 90s sequel.
Yeah.
Is probably what it was. I think it was a little past its time.
A little late, yeah.
But it was a very good depiction of somebody that wasn't related to Carrie, but she had her father's blood in her. And that's why she had telekinesis and everything. So it's just, honestly, for me, both of them is just kind of like a world about movie, honestly. I feel like it's their own little universe.
All right. I agree. All right. My number 3, I think this is underrated because the found footage thing, I think, was kind of done by the time this got to the race, but I got As Above, So Below. I think that's what it's called, the cave one.
Yeah, it's not that bad. This one in Paris, right?
I think it might. No, it might be in Paris. No, I think it's like Mexico. But it's the one with Ben Feldman, the kid from Superstar. And
bad.
It's a cave movie, and it's a ghost thing, and they get stuck down there, and a bunch of supernatural shit happens, and I think it's fucking awesome, and it's a good like found footage. It's like a good mix between like Cloverfield and The Descent. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So I like it a lot, even though they don't really go the monster route. Oh, it is in Paris, so there you go, man. But it's a really good movie. Ben Feldman fans, give it a check out. Number 3, man.
My number 3, I was going to look for it because I thought I had it here, but I guess I didn't, is Cry Wolf. And Daniel probably doesn't even know about this movie. He probably hasn't even seen it.
I've watched it with you.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
When it first came out, I hated it. I really did. That's why he's looking at me like, come on, are you serious?
No, that's what I remember.
I really did hate this movie.
Yeah.
But the more and more I watch it, it's such a good movie, and it sets things up for so many other movies.
Yeah, they never get there.
Set up a lot of tropes for a lot of other movies to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like it's not talked about because it inspired so many other films. That's just my personal opinion.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. I think it's a little...
I think it could have been better.
Yeah.
But, I mean, unfortunately, you had young actors and actresses who were just starting to get in their boots, and I mean, they tried.
They did try. I think it's a little up its own ass at times, but it is a great movie. All right. My number 2, we're getting towards the end here. My number 2, I'm sticking with my favorite video game horror movie of all time. That I thought that was the best concept. Me and her, it brings me back to you, me and Mom renting it off video on demand when that was a big thing, like fucking 5 times. No, Stay Alive with Frankie Muniz.
Oh, Stay Alive!
Yes.
This is the one about the. I mean, if you know, you know. If you've listened to us for a while, you probably already know. But this is the movie that is about Elizabeth Bathory.
Yes.
If you don't know who Elizabeth Bathory is, I don't have the time to explain it to you, so I can't.
But look it up, motherfucker. It's awesome. I think it's a great movie about like you dying in the game, you die in real life. There's an anime that does something like that. I forget what it's called, but
there's a few of them that are like that. Sword Art Online is
that's what I'm thinking of. There you go. And it's a hell of a concept, and it works in when they're playing with their PS2 things for a mid 2000 thing, and like they're playing online with his boss, and like people getting fucked. I think it's eerie. It's creepy. It works. I love every part of that
whole thing. They go in to check on her brother, and he's like,
yeah.
And then, oh my god! He comes up and it's just like, what's up?
Yeah.
And they're like, are you serious? We thought you were dead.
And that's what I love about it. It's one of my favorite casts of all time, with Jimmy Simpson, fucking the girl from The Hitcher who was having a moment at that time, Frankie Muniz, who's post Malcolm in the Middle. And you have a pretty good lead and female lead too. And I really enjoy the movie. I wish it would have had sequels. I think it's a fun lost piece of cinema that nobody talks about. To me, that something like this belongs on the list.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I am kind of kicking myself in the ass for not putting it on my list.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that our lists have been so unsimilar.
Yeah.
Because I was worried that me and him.
I thought we'd at least have one same
scene. Have some very comparable movie tastes. This is actually kind of shocking me that I'm about to do my number 2 and
we haven't had one.
All right, so my number 2 is, and don't judge me, okay? It's The Candyman.
Okay.
And it's because everybody talks about Freddy Krueger, even Art the Clown now.
Yeah.
Mike Myers. Where the fuck is Candyman?
Yeah.
Ghostface even has his own figure.
I feel like when they do top 10s, though, he's on it.
He is. He normally is. But, I mean, this man, if you do not know, this man, because he wanted to make it look authentic, literally held bees in his mouth.
Yeah.
Until they said action.
That shit was crazy.
Not only is that crazy, that's petrifying.
Yes.
To do that. You couldn't pay me $1 million to do that. I would never do that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but for him to do that risk to make it look that much more enamoring, I really do think he did a good job.
Yeah, I agree.
I love The Candyman. I love the second one. I love the third one. And the remake. But, I mean, I'll watch it. But, I mean, first one above all is the creme de la creme. It is my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like how you are on my wrong turn one where I don't find it underrated. Mm-hmm. But I can see compared to like Nightmare and Friday and Halloween, it is kind of a more,
other serial killer entities, they all get.
They don't put as much respect on his name. I think he gets talked more about than Pinhead, though.
Me, yeah.
Fuck Pinhead.
Yeah.
All right, my number 1, and just a couple honorable mentions for me for underrated. I'll go Final Destination 3 because it doesn't get talked about enough, and Ryan Merriman's a fucking legend. So Unfriended because it's a really good the computer movie with the friends, and that was a really good one. And then I had another one, but I forgot it's a fuck. Oh no, Paranormal Activity 4 because that was
Ghost Dimension.
No, that was early. That's the one with the girl and her little brother. That's the kind of the breakout of the chick from the Society who's Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, her. Yeah, Catherine Newton. All right, but my number 1. This is the number 1 pick. Drum roll. My number 1 underrated movie of all time. I've talked about this before. I love this fucking movie. We saw it in theaters. It should have been a franchise. Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. There's been a million Resident Evil movies with Mila Jovovich, and they were great, but they were nothing like the fucking video games at all. They finally did a video game accurate one right after the pandemic in like 2021.
And they deserve to have more.
It was so damn good. I've heard they're talking about sequels lately, but it hasn't gotten one yet, and it's been some years. And it set up everything great. You had Claire Redfield, you had Chris, Robbie and Mel did a great job. You had Leon. You set up stuff you could go into different games for the movies. You set up Wesker at the end with Ada Wong. Like, it was a good movie that tied the first and the second one together. Was there flaws? Yeah, there were flaws. But was it the most video game accurate movie they've ever done? And yes. And it had that creepy Resident Evil vibe. It was fun. I liked the way the zombies looked. I thought the budget was just good enough. And that scene where Robbie and Mel's in the mansion and like the lights keep going on and off as he's shooting zombies is so fucking scary and intense and closed in that it's an epic movie that no one talks about, and they just say, oh, they tried with Resident Evil and it sucked again. And then the Netflix show came out and that really was bad. So they just say, okay, they need to stop. And which sucks because it was a really good movie.
It really was. It very disappointed me because Daniel and I, when we were growing up, we had very vivid imaginations. And sometimes when our power would go, well, actually a lot, when our power would go out and stuff, because we lived in a country town, so we had all that bullshit and snow and everything else. So we would literally like make up movies about our favorite video games, and Resident Evil was actually one of them that we worked on for a really long time. I'm actually upset that we don't still have the notes that we had.
Yeah, we did have some ideas for it. So when we saw this, we were like, oh my God, that's kind of the app brought to life. Because the Mila Jovovich movie, they were awesome, but it was just Alice kicking ass. Alice was never in the game. So to see Chris Redfield and his sister Claire and shit like that. So
we played them.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and I think it's highly, highly, highly underrated. What is your number one movie, Mindy? What's the number one underrated horror movie of all time, according to the horror guru, Mindy?
I've been thinking a lot about this. And there's a movie that really sticks out to me. It's on Tubi. And I've watched it about a good 10 times because of how much it's resonated with me. And that movie is called The Possession Diaries. I mean, Daniel probably doesn't even know what I'm talking about because I haven't even shared it with him.
The Possession Diaries?
Yes. It's about a young lady who gets a Ouija board after her one friend passed away.
Okay.
And she realizes that all of these horrible things are happening to her. And she basically has 10 days to live. It's not really said, but it's kind of implied. And her friend, her roommate, actually leaves her.
Oh, shit.
Fucking leaves her. And was like, oh, I'll be back here on your birthday and Halloween. And she's like, yeah, if I'm alive.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you'll be fine. And like, she hooked up the whole diary things itself because this girl is scared.
Yeah.
And then after all is said and done, I am going to ruin it for you guys, spoilers, because y'all's probably never going to watch this. Her boyfriend, the one that she trusted, the one that even broke up with her ass because he caught her standing over him with a knife. He had a deal with Satan.
Oh, shit, really?
He could get whatever he wanted as long as he got young girls to play with Ouija boards.
Oh, that motherfucker.
Yeah.
That no good two-timing son of a bitch.
And it's just that twist that just nails you in the gut because like it comes right at the end. He opens with the computer and he's like, I'm so sorry.
It's fine.
She loved every one of you.
Yeah.
Oh God. Who knows if it would be so easy to pawn off a Ouija board?
What a fuck.
And he's like, oh, did you guys not realize this? Hi. And then shuts the laptop.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, wow. That was not what I was expecting. Because they even did an exorcism on her. And like a priest and everything. And like the priest and the woman that came with him, their car crashed and they died on impact.
Damn.
Yeah. Like he got her right before her birthday turned. Her roommate came home and found her basically with her head twisted the other way.
Holy shit. All right. Well, that was our list. That's our top 10 underrated horror movies. I thought we both had good eclectic lists.
Yeah.
For everybody. Yeah, good job. Everybody that joined us live, thank you. And if you didn't, no sweat. Check it out. Like and subscribe to StabCast YouTube channel. Check out Mindy. And occasionally I show up too on the TikTok, the StabCast My Life. And follow all that. Like and subscribe on YouTube. And check out this video if you missed it. And hell yeah, Mindy, give him a big old. There you go. We'll see everybody next time.
Bye, guys.